Good evening.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Oh,
I'm good.
I'm very good. I just have a bowl of noodle and now I feel really hot. I have new headphones.
Oh my god, new headphones. Oh my god.
This is my new new things. But I
Have
don't know how to open it.
you tried them?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I forgot to wear headphones because my house is fixing what? My house is fixing the door, so it's so noisy.
Someone is fixing the door.
What?
Someone is fixing the door.
Yes. Someone is fixing the door. Yes. But let me. Someone is fixing the door in my house, so.
Oh, they're beautiful.
What?
It's beautiful. It's not plugged in though.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, I can hear it now.
Is it plugged in?
Yes. No. I connected by how can I call?
Wireless.
Yes, it's wireless.
Wireless.
Connected by I'm sorry. Wait. Bluetooth.
Whoa.
Bluetooth.
Oh my god, you're so modern.
Yes, it's wireless. I connected with Bluetooth in my computer.
It's a lovely necklace.
What?
It is a lovely necklace.
Yes. Oh, should I wear like this?
That's nice too. Or you can wear it on top
Yes,
of your
yes. But I don't like it. I like wearing like this. And my boyfriend bought it for me.
Whoa!
And you know, no, I give money for him. He said that if I wear on my neck, the microphone is near my mouth. Yes. So
he picked it up. You paid for it.
yes. Anytime I ask him to buy something for me, I usually pay for money for him. I never.
A very modern woman.
Sorry?
You are a very modern woman.
Why you say that?
Because you don't want him to pay for anything.
I hate that. I don't know, but I really hate that. You know, I buy a lot of noodles, milk, and choco pie cake for my dad and my mom. But I just want my dad and my mom use it. I don't want my brother, my sister, or my nephew, my niece use it. No one. But my brother, he is in high school. He's so lazy. So I usually complain about him. Why is he so lazy to study and so lazy to work? He usually wake up so late, and my mom and my dad usually angry with him. So I don't want he use anything of mine. I just hope that he will be more hardworking and work more, study more. He's so lazy. I don't know. So I think if I have him a lot, if I give him a lot, in the future when he goes out, he cannot be self-disciplined, right? Self-discipline, yes. So in my family, he can live He can have some food to eat, have everything. But when he goes out, like he cannot live like that. So I just hope that, and everything I buy for my mom and my dad, and when they go to work, my brother wake up so late, like he just wake up. I wake up at 4:30, but he wake up at 8
Oh,
a.m.
oh my God, 8 o'clock. Oh my God.
Yes, so late. And he picked some of my noodle and a box of milk, a packet of milk. I bought it for my mom and my dad, and I angry with him. Why I don't buy for you? And why say lazy? If you hard working, if you have if you have mom and dad, or you study hard, it will be free all for you. But because he's so lazy, so I don't want to use anything of mine, even shampoo or cleaner. I don't want to use anything of mine. I hate that. I hate depending on other people like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm so hot temper. I really strict with my brother.
Oh, you know what? I can't even show you this. Maybe I can.
You are doing something?
Sorry. I wanted to show you something. I just sent you a picture.
On Facebook?
No. Oh, no, I sent it on Zoom.
Okay, let me check. Oh, I didn't receive it.
Click on the Zoom app.
How? I didn't receive your picture in Zoom.
Do you have on the bottom of your screen? Do you have the app for Zoom?
At?
App, APP.
Yes.
Click on it.
Now?
Yeah.
No. Is it a button? Oh, so
Do you see a picture?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's do it a different way.
I cannot see picture.
All right, hang on. I sent it to you on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
See the message? Screen sharing doesn't work.
What doesn't work? Oh, what's
I-
this? Ah, okay. You mean you cannot share screen, right?
Correct.
So,
It's in your
I,
setting.
okay, okay, okay. I allow you already. Can you share screen now? Can you share
Yeah,
screen now?
that's fine. I have this problem with every person in Vietnam. Um, I think that Zoom did an update,
Yes.
and when
Zoom
they did an
update.
update, it changed the settings. It changed the settings for people. It didn't change my settings, but every student in Vietnam, I have the same problem with.
Oh, I think for all users, not only students in Vietnam.
Mine, I don't have a problem with it. People can share their screen with me because some people do share their screen with me and they have no problem. But when I try to share my screen with people, and almost all my students are in Vietnam, I get that message. So people have to change the setting in their computer. Not everyone knows how to do it. You just did it very quickly, right? Some people can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So if if Emily tries to share her screen with you, she wouldn't be able to. She would get that message.
Okay, okay, okay. I got that. Okay.
So I sent a note out to every volunteer this morning, explaining to them the problem. So they have to get their partners, their students, the teachers, to fix their computer settings, or they won't be able to share their screen.
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm doing that.
It's changed a lot in this time for my Zoom. You know, other teachers meet many problems with Zoom, but it's still lucky for me because I don't meet those problems, or I will meet it later after them, so they have the way to fix it.
Right.
I will read and follow them. Yeah.
That's just the only problem I've never had a problem with Zoom. This is the first time I've had a problem.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
think they must have updated. I know they updated, but it didn't affect my computer the way it's affecting computers in Vietnam. Now, maybe it's affecting computers in other countries. I don't know, because I don't work with people in other countries.
Yes.
But I've had several students who they have the files that I want to practice with them, so they have to share them on their screen instead of me sharing, which is okay, but not all my students have the files, so it's a problem.
You want to share screen with me? Or you just check?
I'm checking.
Okay, okay, okay.
I have a question for you.
Yes?
There's a volunteer who wants to work with kids, with children between the ages of 5 and 12.
Yes. Oh, your volunteer work with kids?
Well, she's working with an adult teacher at the moment, but she sent me a note the other day saying she would like to try working with children. And she's saying 8 o'clock at night. That's too late for children, right?
8 o'clock?
8 p.m.
Okay, okay. It's not too late. I have many students they study at night.
Between 5 years old and 12 years old?
No, just uh, I I have student. He's just 6 years old, but I study with him at 9 p.m.
At 9 p.m.? 9 p.m. at night.
Yes,
Seriously? Wow.
he's still really active like that because of his habit. But most students in secondary school they can study at night. It's okay.
Yeah.
But for
Almost everyone we work with works at night. Almost everyone. I do have children who work at 8 o'clock their time, 9 o'clock their time, but they're not 5 years old.
they are adults.
Well, no, they're 9, 10, 11 years old. They're a little older, right?
Yes.
So this woman wants to practice with some children. She's practicing now with a teacher. I can't remember which teacher she's working with. Let me just check. Who is she working with? She's working with a primary school math teacher in Taiwan. She's been working with a primary school math teacher for about 1 month. But she sent me a note the other day saying she would like to try working with children. And she would like to do it 2 times a week. Do you know any children who'd be interested in that? She's not, it's free, right? She's not charging it.
Yeah. Can she teach in the morning Vietnam time? My time.
I'll ask her. She suggested morning, but I'll ask her if she can. That's nighttime, my time, right?
Yes.
What time?
About 7, 8, 9, 10.
So that would be 6 to 9 p.m. our time. I'll ask her. I don't know. There was somebody else somewhere else. I can't remember who it was. There was another volunteer in Vietnam who asked me a volunteer in Vietnam asked me if I could find someone to teach children. And I did. I found someone. So this is the second person. This is the second time someone has said, "Hey, can someone work with children?" Except this time it's a Canadian asking to work with kids. So I will send her a note. She wants to work for 1 hour per class. Is that too long? 1 hour?
I think no. It's normal. For primary school, it's too long, but for secondary school, it's okay.
Yeah, but the oldest kids she's talking about are 12 years old. So 45 minutes would be better, right?
Yes. 45, 1 hour. 1 hour, yeah. I think in general, I just teach for 45 minutes and I think it's okay.
Yeah, I don't, for younger people, I don't agree with teaching a long time. It's,
Yes.
so you might know, she's talking about a group of children. So I don't know how she plans to do it. I really haven't had a long conversation with her about it because I don't have any children for her to work with. So I don't have any children. I have a teacher, but I don't know what the teacher wants to do. So I'll ask her. I'll ask her.
Yes, I have a nephew, but he is in like my sister's son. He's he's in the north of Vietnam. He's in Pleiku, Gia Lai. As I told you before,
He's where?
Pleiku, Pleiku.
You mean
Gia Lai,
Gia Lai.
in Gia Lai, in Vietnam. Yes, in the south of Vietnam, not in my hometown. Yes.
You said north, but you're in the north. You're not in the south. He's in the south.
Yes, he is in the south. I said in the north.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry. So when he was in primary school, now he's in grade 6. He's 11 years old now. But when he was 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, I speak English with him. I taught English for him. And I see his English is very good, quite good. His pronunciation, vocabulary, everything I ask him around his life, he can answer me. But after a long time, I stopped talking with him, stopped teaching him. But he still study English at school. And today I asked him some really, really simple questions. He cannot answer me. And I don't know why.
Well, it's because he hasn't used the language, right?
Yeah.
He's forgotten.
Yes. So if you said that have a volunteer want to practice with children, can I introduce him for her?
Sure. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't. I have done this myself with children.
But
It's,
does your volunteer have any request for students like their English would be good?
no.
No? Okay. That's good. If he cannot work, I will support more for him.
No, she doesn't. No, the only thing she said, she just sent me a note because I sent her one asking her for some details. She's saying, let's try for 1 or 2 months and see how it goes. So I will find out. I'll find out if she can work, if she can do it in the evening. She may say no. I don't know. So not everyone's like you and me who work anytime. So if she says that she can work, with them in our evening, which would be your morning, then I will have a longer conversation with her, and then maybe the 3 of us could talk. So we'll see. I don't know. Well, I don't know. So we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Okay.
If she can work in the morning, in the evening, it's okay.
Well, it's our evening. It would be your morning, right?
Yes.
It would be easier to find children in the morning. In your morning. Oh, sorry. Say that again. Which one is better?
For my nephew, in the morning is better. My time. Right. I mean my time. Yes.
So 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning is better for him?
I think you should ask for volunteer because 7 or 8 is totally okay.
Okay, okay. He doesn't have school?
He has school not in the evening.
Okay.
In the afternoon. In the afternoon.
I'm confused about something. Do students go to school in the morning and the afternoon, or just morning or afternoon?
It depends. Most students they study in the morning, and some in the afternoon. Like they will study like some actual class in the afternoon. But some school they have too many students, so they divide the school into 2 groups. Perhaps a half of students will study in the morning, and a half of students will study in the afternoon. Like that.
How many subjects? That's only 4 subjects though, right?
4 subjects? No.
4.
Many subjects. 9, 8.
I don't understand, because I was just talking to a woman in Saigon whose daughters have gone back to school. And in Saigon, they go to school in the morning and in the afternoon.
Like they study in the morning. Most of them they study in the morning for like they study like for new knowledge. But in the afternoon they review or they support like study an actual class.
I don't know. I'll ask, but my impression was that they take 8 subjects in a day.
Maybe because of virus. So they want to study all and they study faster. I guess that.
Maybe.
Yes, but as usual, they don't study like that.
They study in the morning or the afternoon.
Or morning or afternoon, not both.
Right.
Or some both is just support, just review.
All right. But if you study in the morning, how many subjects can you study in one morning?
At school?
Yeah.
Sometimes 4, sometimes 5.
But aren't there...
In secondary and primary school, secondary and high school, 4 or 5, sometimes 4. Just one day for 4 subjects, and 4 days or 5 days for 5 subjects a day. Have one day for 4 subjects, and every day 5 subjects. In secondary school and high school, but in primary school just 4 or sometimes 2. Sometimes 2. Yes. Yes, like that. Study a lot, right? I have a student and her mom told me that she is so tired. Like her son is really tired because he studied a lot at school after virus. After stop because of virus. His son studied until he came back home at 12 o'clock, 12 at noon. He start to go to school at 6:30 and come back at 12. But start to go to school at 1 p.m. Oh my God. And he came back at 5. He came back at 5 p.m. And she said that, oh, her son really, he is really tired. So she wants her son start, as usual, her son study with me 3 times a week. So now she said, she told me that maybe can he study with me twice a week because he's studying really hard at school. And change the time from afternoon to 6 p.m. I answer him like, I think he studied really, really hard at school like that. So even he came back at 5 and he studied with me at 6. But at that time, he's really tired. It's not efficient to study with me. So at 6, so I will teach him once in the at weekend. I think that, but she really wants me to teach him twice a week. But I think he have like he cannot study with me at 6. Study really 10 hours per day.
But he also does homework after school, right? When he gets home in the evening, he does
Of
homework.
course, he study a lot and have a lot of homework at school too. Of course, and he needs to do it in the evening. I think he has no time to rest for himself.
Hmm.
I know that once a week is not enough. Once a week is, but I think it is it is not efficient.
Not
Efficient.
efficient.
Efficient. It's not efficient. I don't want to teach. Yes.
It's not efficient.
Yes. It's not efficient. I don't want to teach. It
It's not.
wastes time and wastes money, right?
Well, yes. It's very difficult to, well, it depends on the student, but some people, I work with some people once a week, and if they do work on their own, it's okay. But if they don't do much work on their own, once a week is not going to be very helpful. A little, but not very much. So it just depends. But I don't recommend once a week.
Yes.
We do once a week in the project because they're all volunteers. And before they become volunteers, they read about the project, right? So when most people read an hour, they think, well, an hour's not bad, I can do that. But if I said 2 or 3 hours, people just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
Like
Some people start with 1 hour and then they increase it. The volunteers increase the time because they realize it's not enough. But if I ask them before they start, if I ask them to do 2 hours a week, I think a lot of people would just say, no, it's too much. So then you wouldn't have anything, right? So is 1 hour better than nothing? Yes, 1 hour is better than nothing, right? It's not perfect.
in my opinion, when I do anything, when I study anything, I don't know that's good or not, but I just want to do as much as I can. In that way, I can be as good as possible, like that. Yeah. Sometimes, like in the past, I have volunteer. You guys, I Miss Yun Chan. She gave me a volunteer. I work with him, and I was really scared. before before studying with him, I really scared, and I tried to prepare and learn by heart, answer the question on my notebook. I learned by heart, but when he asked me something or when he speak, I couldn't understand, and I record the video and I listen at home, and I was disappointed about myself too. But whenever I join the class, he's so friendly. He opened my, he laughed with me, so I don't feel scared. Like I'm afraid of myself. Like I'm I make I make myself nervous, right?
Everybody, everybody, e- almost everybody tells me the same thing. Volunteers tell me this all the time, that the student they're working with, whether they're a student or a teacher, are very nervous. They're very self-conscious. And I always tell the volunteers before they start, look, the person you work with is going to feel really self-conscious because they're speaking to a native speaker and they know or they believe that their English isn't very good. But I also tell volunteers, people don't know how good their English is because they never talk to a native speaker, right? So people say, oh my God, my English is terrible. Most of the time, it's not true, right?
Yeah.
But you don't get to talk to native speakers, so how would you know if your English is good or not, right?
Yes.
So one of the good things about this project, even if you only talk once a week, one of the things that happens with people, if the volunteer is good, what happens is people become more comfortable and confident about their English, right?
Yes.
And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. People feel like, oh, you know what? I can do this. I can speak English. I can, that foreigner, that Canadian or that person in England or that American or that person from Australia, they understand what I'm saying, right? Oh my God, somebody from one of those countries understands what I'm saying. It happens all the time. It happens
Yes.
all, it happens all the time. And I understand it completely because it's been happening from the very beginning of this project. People are so nervous. There are people like you who make notes and notes and notes and notes.
Yes.
And then, oh my God, the camera goes on and you think, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I can't remember what to say. How do you say that word? What is that sentence? Oh my God, this is terrible. But after a few weeks, people become more comfortable, right? People start to have a conversation. It happens. I have had 2 notes this week from volunteers saying, oh my God, the teacher was so quiet. And the teacher told me their English was terrible. And the teacher didn't really want to say many things, right? And I said, yes, yes, yes. All that's happening to you is what happens to most people when they do this. Some people are very, some people give the impression they're very confident, right? Some
Yes.
people, you can't tell how nervous they are. And that's not a, it's fairly common that you can't actually tell how nervous someone is, but they're very nervous, right?
Do you think for me, do you see I'm nervous?
No, no. I don't think you're nervous. It's part of your personality. You're very curious about the world, right? So your curiosity is stronger than your fear. Curiosity is very, you're very curious, and that is stronger than your self-consciousness or your fear. So are you afraid? Yes, of course. But you're more curious than scared.
Yes. I think, yeah, I'm still nervous and I'm still scared of something. But for every situation in my life, not only studying English, I I think if I overcome this fear, I wouldn't scared of it anymore. So I try to overcome it.
Mm.
Yes, to
How,
be better than
how do you overcome it?
by doing it,
Mm.
practicing it. Yeah.
Mm.
Or sometimes I ask other people first.
Like What do you mean?
Like if I don't know how to do this thing, but I want to do it, I will ask others for experience. And how can they do it? Yeah, and I follow them, and I try to do by myself.
Mm. Very interesting.
I know. I have really no. Like I have a student. She is. I think her English is very good, but she doesn't like. She said that she likes speaking, but she has no ideas, no ideas. And when because she asked me that she has no ideas, so I usually ask questions. I ask many questions for her. If yes, no question, that she just answer yes or no. But if I ask some open questions like why, how, then she usually answer me like I don't know. So how can I talk with you, with her for your opinion? In your opinion, you understand my problem?
Yeah. Mm. You're sorry. You're trying to get her to talk,
Yes,
but you ask her questions.
yes. I ask her many questions.
And she cannot answer the questions?
Yes, she understand, but she cannot answer the question. And I asked why. She said that she has no idea.
She has no idea how to answer the question?
Yes, and the question is difficult, but I don't think it's difficult to answer.
Oh, for God's sake, you think the question is easy, but she does not?
I think she understand the question, but yeah, she said that it's difficult to answer, but she understand all.
But, yeah, but, uh, um, well, I have a couple of answers for this. Why don't you try simpler questions? Why
Why?
don't you try easier questions?
Easier question. Like most of questions, she doesn't answer me.
Do you try really simple questions?
Yes, but no. She always
Uh,
say yes or no or I don't know.
all right, so does she know how to write?
Yes, she write very good,
Well,
very well.
then give her the questions and get her to write the answers.
She usually writes me the like, yeah. You mean write me message like that?
So send her the questions, get her to write the answer to the questions, and then when you meet her, have her read her answers.
Like I give her a lot of topics, and after the lesson, I usually give her homework, like write a
Yeah,
passage about
I know.
something.
I know what you're doing to your students. You're giving them too much. Does she? Does she do her
She
homework?
did very well. She every day. She did very well. Even she make video to speak English with me. Very good. But when she answer me, even I ask again, she cannot answer me. Maybe she scared me.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not sure I understand. So she records speaking answers to your questions.
What do you
So
mean?
she
Sorry?
records, she answers,
Yes, yes,
but when you ask her when you're face to face, she can't answer.
exactly.
So it is you. You're the problem.
But I don't know what's matter.
The problem is you. She doesn't have any trouble speaking. She records her answers and her answers are fine, right? So what's the problem answering when she's facing you?
Oh, why? No! I know because of me, but I don't know how to deal with it. You understand?
But what is it you're trying to do? She records her answers. She records speaking, and that's what you want her to do, right?
Yes,
That is what you want her to do. You want her to be able to answer questions by speaking, right?
yes,
So if she if she does it in a recording, that's good, right? That's
yes.
her way of doing it. So just let her do it her way. Instead of torturing her, instead of torturing her, let her just answer the question. The whole point is to get her to speak, right? And the speaking that she records is okay, right?
Yeah, but her problem is she's so, I think she's so impressed and shy. She's not confident enough. She doesn't, she isn't confident enough to face with others, not only me. Her mom
Well,
also shared me that.
so which problem do you want to help her with? English or her personality?
I just want she can connect with me, answer
So
and ask me question.
the way she connects with people is by recording her answers, right? You sound like a traditional teacher. You do it my way and only my way, or forget it, right? So she's afraid to talk to people face to face. But are you trying to help her with her communication face to face, or are you trying to help her with English?
Oh,
Yeah, but it's not your problem. How long have you been working with her?
about about 3 months, 4 months.
And has anything changed?
Yes, her changed a lot because we really hardworking. She changed a lot,
But
but
is she,
he just changed her English. Like in the past, at first I gave her a topic. She cannot, she couldn't write or write very simple.
mm,
She couldn't speak, but or speak really simple or short.
mm,
But
mm,
after I fixed for her, I guide her how to speak a topic.
mm,
Now she can speak really detailed and really logic, right?
mm, mm.
Yes. But now I want to, I want her more confident by using English. Or sometimes I ask her some English question. She cannot answer me. I ask Vietnamese. She doesn't answer me too. Doesn't answer me either. Right?
Right. Yeah, they're both fine.
And her mom really want me to fix, to have her more confident in English. But I think even in Vietnamese, she's not confident.
Well, teacher, you have to be patient. I would let her answer her questions by recording them. And after a month or 2 months, little by little, she may actually begin to talk to you. But
I think she record her answering very well now already.
But that's not the problem. The problem is she's not confident enough to speak to you, right? So how would you force her to do that? You can't force her to do it because when you try, she gives you a one-word answer, right?
So what should I do now?
Well, you can try getting her to read her answers when you ask her those questions. When you're face to face, you can try asking her, well, just read what you wrote, right?
But she did. If I ask her to do that, she did very well.
Well, let her get comfortable with doing it. Does she read things to you?
Yes, like if I spend 1 minute for her to prepare the answer, she answer me immediately after 1 minute. But if she isn't allowed to write down her answer, she cannot answer me even after 2 minutes. To read to me, but she needs time to write down.
You know, I have a student who I've been working with for a long time, and I let him read. I put it up, he writes, I fix it, I send it back to him. I ask him some questions, he writes more, I send it back to him, we read it, and I fix it. And then I get him to read it, right? And I get him to read it again. And I get him to read it again. And then I take it off my screen. And I say, okay, now tell me the topic, right? He's not shy. So for him, he's not afraid to try. He forgets big parts of what he's written. He's getting better, but we've been doing it for months. He's getting better at remembering all the things that he wrote. But I just go very, very slowly. I go very, very slowly. And I let him read. I put it on my screen, I share, which is why I have a problem sharing screen. I put his writing up and I say, okay, read it to me, right? And then I say, read it again, read it again. And then I will eventually take it off my screen and I will say, okay, can you tell me about your topic? And if it takes him 5 minutes to read it, it will take 8 or 9 minutes for him to say it because he makes mistakes, he's trying to remember, he repeats things, but he's doing it from here, right? And he's getting better at it. But we've been doing this for months, Boone. We've been doing this for months. And you have to go slow. You have to go slow. Now, this boy he's not afraid to speak. He's very conscious that he doesn't have a big vocabulary. His pronunciation has gotten much better this year than it has been, but he still doesn't have lots of vocabulary. But the more times I do this with him, and we will read a 5-minute reading of his writing 3 times. And then we will do a couple, maybe 2 practices of him doing it without seeing it. And so that's the entire lesson. He's getting better at it, but I would never, ever, ever, I wouldn't ask him to tell me the story without letting him read it because he doesn't have enough English. So he's memorizing it, right? He still doesn't, he doesn't think in English. So he's memorizing this.
Yes,
But,
yes,
but over time, he will become more comfortable with the sound of English and he will begin to think in English.
yes,
But for me, it's just being patient, right? He doesn't pay me. It's my own time. It's his own time. We talk, I think we do 3 or 4 times a week. We only do 40 minutes. But little by little by little, he's getting better. But what
yes,
I do with him is I let him read it, right? I don't care. I want him to use his mouth and try and use his brain. Does it have to be just talking? No, he can read it. That's fine. I don't care.
yes,
Because he's practicing. He's using his voice. He's making the sounds. He's thinking about the words or he's reading the words. And so it takes time. If you
yes,
let her read and read and read and read, at some point she's going to realize, you know what, I can actually do that. She's looking at me while I'm reading it, right? She's going to understand that.
yes.
And maybe she'll become comfortable. I don't know for sure. She sounds
Yes.
like a scary student.
I use this method, read and tell me again by their own words for adults, for grown-ups too. Yes, like I teach for some workers. They are working now, and I usually give video or passages for them to read at home, to listen at home, and to start the class, I usually ask them that what happened in the video, what happened in the story, and they need to tell me the story again by their own words. Yes, I think that's the way they use English, but they just read or they just watch, so they still remember or still they have new words in that situation, right? Yes, I use this method for my adult student. I hope that's okay, but I think it's okay. Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. People have to become used to, comfortable with thinking and making the sounds. English is not Vietnamese. They're totally different languages. And so people have to be used to making the sounds, of seeing the words, and that's not easy, right? It's not easy.
And maybe the next time I will tell you one of my really, really special students. I really want to share you. I think yesterday I thought that today I will share you this student. Maybe we don't have enough time. I really want to ask you for my suggestion about this student. Okay. It's really hard for me, I think so. Thank you a lot for spending time for me. Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.